Welcome into On Deck. I'm Tyler Redmond. As always, I appreciate you watching and thank you so much for being here. Going to get into your comments in just a few minutes, but first, I want to discuss kind of what's going on with the awards that were given this week, kind of tell you what I thought about them, and just give you the perspective of a guy who covers the Braves and tell you how close some of the Braves were at winning these awards. Of course, I'm talking about Rookie of the Year, Manager of the Year, Cy Young, and of course MVP. And of course, we'll finish off with some big news out of Atlanta. So let's start out with the awards. So Monday, you got the Rookie of the Year awards. The American League, it was Kyle Lewis of the Mariners who won it. This year he had 11 homers, a 364 on-base percentage, 801 OPS, 5 stolen bases, and 37 runs. He did win this award unanimously, so that tells you just how dominant he was this year as a rookie. I thought that's who would win it. Of course, keep a close look at that guy. He's going to be good for years to come. He falls in line with Ichiro Suzuki, who also won this award for the Mariners, I believe in 2001. For the National League, it was Devin Williams of the Brewers. This year, as a relief pitcher, he had 27 innings pitched, a .33 ERA, so absolutely dominant. .63 WHIP and 53 strikeouts on the year. Just absolutely dominant. And Ian Anderson was the name that most Braves fans had an eye on for this award. Without a doubt, Devin Williams earned this, no question about it. But the good thing is, for Braves fans, that Ian Anderson will still technically be a rookie next year, so he can still technically win this award next year. He tied for 7th place in the National League for this award. To be honest with you, I had my eye on Sixto Sanchez of the Marlins. He was very impressive this season. I thought he'd be a little closer at winning one of these awards, but that was not the case. But on Tuesday, you got the Manager of the Year. That was for the AL. It was Kevin Cash of the Rays, and he kind of got into, not controversy per se, but a lot of people questioned his managerial skills at the end of the year. We'll get into that in a minute, and I'll tell you what I think about it. But at the end of the day, the dude had the 3rd lowest payroll in baseball, $28.3 million this year, and yet he made it to a World Series with that. He was 40-20 on the year, 667 win percentage for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he competed in the AL East. He beat the Yankees handily in the division and in the ALCS. Of course, their path to the World Series was through Toronto and then the Yankees. And this is what everybody's going to talk about. He made that quote-unquote fatal error in Game 6 of the World Series to eventually lose that game and lose the World Series by pulling Blake Snell early. He had a really short leash, and, had it worked out in his favor, dude would be looked at like a genius. That was just not the case. But in the end, in my opinion, I think he earned the award. He made less dollars do more than a lot of other teams had that were able to spend more and didn't do near what the Rays did. So that's just my opinion there. Of course, in the National League, this came to no surprise to me. Don Mattingly of the Marlins. And he's another manager that had little payroll to work with, only $31.6 million. Tampa Bay had the 3rd lowest overall in Major Leagues, and the Marlins had the 4th. So that tells you just how big of a deal that is when it comes to this award. And we all know about Derek Jeter's work in Miami. Of course, they just hired a new GM. But don't forget about Don Mattingly. He took what was ultimately the laughingstock of the National League East and made them a threat. He brought out every bit of small ball he could think of. No one expected this team to make it to a postseason. And I know that you can say that there's an asterisk next to it because it was a 60-game season, but every team was still in the running, and the Marlins made the most out of it. Not to mention a lot of the team members were diagnosed with COVID early on, and he had a crazy schedule because of that incident. Mattingly brought out small ball. He used what he had and did a lot with it. Of course, he was eventually eliminated by the Braves in the NLDS, but the Marlins were 31-29. They were 2nd in the NL East behind the Braves. And they actually beat the Cubs in the postseason in the wild card series before losing to the Braves. But I don't think any Braves fan would tell you that they wanted to face Miami in the postseason because they found ways to win. And that was, to me, a major factor in why Don Mattingly won this award, is because he found ways to win with the team he had. Of course, as a guy who covers the Braves, it would have been nice to see Snit win his 3rd consecutive one. Especially with all he dealt with this season. Of course, Soroka going down, COVID, you can list all the different problems that Snit had to deal with this year. But I think MLB got this right. I think Don Mattingly, for sure, was deserving of the award. To be honest with you, I called that a couple weeks ago. I've said it numerous times. I thought Don Mattingly was going to win that award, and I don't think there's any question as to why he did. In terms of the Cy Young and the AL, of course, it was Shane Bieber. In 2020, he was 8-1 with a 1.63 ERA, and he had 122 strikeouts. That'll win it for you. He also did win this award unanimously, and when you lead the league in ERA and strikeouts, it's hard not to vote for you. Not much else to say here other than congrats to Shane Bieber on a terrific season. In the NL, this is the one everybody wants to talk about, Trevor Bauer. In 2020, Trevor Bauer was 5-4 with a 1.73 ERA. Unfortunate that Cincinnati couldn't win more games for him, but regardless, he finished with a great year. 100 strikeouts. That ERA led the National League. The 1.73 ERA led the National League. Without a doubt, we knew this was coming. I don't think there was any question there. The buzz has really surrounded Trevor Bauer all year long, thanks to his YouTube, thanks to his personality, and thanks to his numbers. He's an interesting character, but he backs it up. And I'll tell you, as a guy who covers Atlanta regularly, I was doubtful in Atlanta's offense going into the wild card series versus the Reds, specifically the game against Trevor Bauer. Ultimately, Freddie Freeman had a walk-off to win that one 1-0, but he made my fears very real. That was the only one. That was the only run allowed, and it was not allowed by Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer showed that he's worth paying attention to, and he's worth paying. And he's going to get every bit of dollars that he wants going into the free agency. Every team is interested in him. I don't know of a team that hasn't hinted that they're in the hunt for Trevor Bauer. But, I mean, the guy completely dominated. I have a Braves audience. He dominated hitters like Ozuna, hitters like d'Arnaud, Albies, Swanson, Acuna. And he did it all year long against other teams. So, you know a guy is good when he's able to pick where he's going to land in his free agency year, and he's certainly going to get to do that. So now we've all been waiting for the most valuable player. That was announced on Thursday. In the AL, it was Jose Abreu. He had 76 hits, 60 RBIs, a 617 slug percentage, 19 homers, 148 total bases, and he was, just out of what I just mentioned, he led the league in hits, he led the league in RBIs, slugging percentage, and total bases. It screams an MVP season. No doubt about it. But I know that's not what you all came here to hear about. I know that you came to hear about Freddie Freeman. Of course, he won the MVP in the National League. And, he's a guy who absolutely deserves it. In 2020 alone, he had 73 hits, 13 homers, 53 RBIs, 341 batting average, a 640 slug percentage. And Dale Murphy was the guy who actually announced this. He announced Freddie Freeman's MVP award, and it was just a really great moment. He's a guy who battled COVID-19 at the beginning of the year, a guy who stuck with the Braves through the rebuild, and frankly, he's a guy who's carried them to so much success this year. He's been the clubhouse leader in a way, in multiple ways, and I said I thought this would happen, and a lot of you did too. Actually had a couple of you guys hit me up as soon as this happened, telling me that you called it, and I really appreciate those comments. Drum Bum, I believe, was the one that actually messaged me, letting me know and reminding me that he too called it. But he wasn't the only one. But there was a lot of you that did that. All in all, at the end of the day, congratulations to Freddie Freeman. He's a guy that we all know how hard he works. We all know how dedicated he truly is to the team. He could have easily left the Braves and went to another team over the years, and he never did. So I just want to give credit to Freddie Freeman. The guy's dominant, and there's just no doubt about it. He's an excellent hitter. He's an excellent fielder. Alex Anthopoulos made the comment the other day that that Freddie Freeman, he would love to see Freddie Freeman win the Gold Glove because he sees how hard he works with Wash out on the field before the games. And I believe Freddie's got a couple Silver Sluggers under his belt, but this is the big one. This is the award that puts you on the map, that makes you just a legend. I mean, there's only been 4 MVPs for the Braves, and they are Hank Aaron, Chipper Jones, Dale Murphy, and Terry Pendleton before Freddie. Now, of course, there's 5, but I'm really happy to say that it's Freddie Freeman, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. And Freddie Freeman, apart from just how great of a player he is, he's one of the friendliest guys you're ever going to meet. I'll tell you a personal story. We were at spring training a couple years ago, and everybody wherever the Braves are at, and asking for autographs, and everybody was just really quiet. Nobody wanted to be, the one to ask, Freddie Freeman for his autograph. And this little kid, maybe 4 or 5 years old, my baseball, and he walked over. He said, "I sure will," and he signed for every person standing right there. And that's just kind of a personal thing I'm going to throw out there. Just one of the friendliest guys on the team in Major League Baseball. And, because of that, he sort of has this reputation all throughout baseball. Back for a minute and just give some credit to a guy who I don't think Braves fans are going to give any credit to, and that is actually Bryce Harper. That might come to a surprise to you. Bryce Harper, if you don't remember, Bryce Harper actually mentioned, that he and Anthony Rendon, Freddie Freeman and Anthony Rendon, are two of the most, just some of the best players in baseball, and are underrated. And I don't know how many of you remember that, but I remember watching this. It was on national TV. It was one of the Big Fox's games, and it was just a nice little note for Harper to do that. And I really think that got the ball rolling. That kind of brought attention to Freddie Freeman. Of course, Freddie Freeman performed. He earned this award. Don't make any mistake of what I'm saying. But I am going to say that without Bryce Harper getting the ball rolling, I don't know that this happens. Of course, he won it. I thought he won it. But we've all seen players get gypped over the years, and I'm glad that did not happen. I'm glad this worked out like it should at home. So once again, congratulations to Freddie Freeman at winning this award. Just a perfect season for him. And, of course, we would have liked to have ended with a World Series. That did not happen. But all in all, I think he's going to be a guy who gets re-signed in the offseason and a guy who is influential for the Braves for years to come. So, once again, congratulations to Freddie Freeman. And I can't wait to see what happens as time goes on. So, before I get out of here, of course, I'm going to get to your questions in a few minutes. But before I get out of here, I wanted to just throw it real quick. If you haven't seen my interview with Chief Nakahoma, that hadn't really got the traction that I was hoping it would, go check it out. It's on my channel. It's the most recently dropped video. I sat down with Chief Nakahoma a while ago, and I interviewed him, and I put a lot of work into this. It's kind of a personal thing for me. Chief is a great friend of mine. In fact, he made those two, the Tomahawk and the War Horn back there. Chief is a friend of mine. I consider him a great friend of mine, and he's done a lot for me. I want to get his story out as many ways as I can. Of course, I sat down with him, actually on camera with him, and discussed some of the things that he did over the years, some of the players he was around. Dale Murphy was one of those guys. Bob Horner. There's so many stories I got for you. The TP coming down and going back up. He actually gave his opinion on the Washington Redskins and that name change, as well as how controversial the Braves name is or not is. I'm not going to tell you what he thinks about it. I'm going to let you go watch and find out. It's about 15 minutes, but on this Saturday, take 15 minutes, go watch it. It's a really good interview, and I'm very proud of it. So go check that out. Again, it's on my channel. You can find it there. But I'm going to get into your questions real quick, just discuss some of the things real quick with you, and then I'll kind of, then I'm going to get out of here. Okay. Atlanta Kid, I'm doing all right. Happy to be back on YouTube. I'm feeling a lot better. I had a little bit of a sickness last week, but I'm feeling a lot better. Yasuki Knight, so deserved. Way to go, Freddie. Congrats. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Evan Roden, follow Freddie on Instagram. He just got one. Oh, did he? I will do that. Are you sure it's real? Because I know he's not really a social media guru. And speaking of which, go follow me on Instagram, @BubblegumJesus. Go do that. I appreciate that. Off topic, but just found out Bauer grew up a Braves fan. Yeah, I've known that for a while. He actually loves Truist Park. He loves Truist Park. He mentioned that in one of his vlogs. I'm a connoisseur of Trevor Bauer. I love watching his vlogs and just the behind the scenes of everything that he does. It's just very interesting, especially during the COVID season. It was a very interesting thing to see. But yeah, he grew up a Braves fan. He loved watching Maddox and Smoltz and Glavine. He's a guy who could easily come to the Braves, but he could also easily go to about 10 other teams. It'll be very interesting to see. Mad Mike for president, MV free. I hear you, brother. MV free all day long. All right, let's move on. Evan Roden, Hall of Fame for Freddie already. Are we calling it? I'm not mad at it. Wayne Blackman, Braves, don't take Freeman lightly. Sign him up ASAP. Get it done now. I don't disagree with that. I think it's going to happen this offseason. I think we're going to get to winter meetings. We're going to find out if we have a DH or not. I think a lot of the questions kind of need to be answered. This season left a lot of questions up in the air. Are we really not going to have a DH next year, or is Rob Manfred actually going to throw it in there as well as the extended playoffs? But I do think that it goes without saying that Freddie's going to get re-signed. I don't see him going anywhere else. Both think that's going to ever be a problem. I think we're going to get him re-signed because he wants to be a Brave for life, and I think the Braves want him there as long as he'll remain there. And of course, he's one of the best hitters in the league. With that said, let's talk about Marcell Ozuna. That is something that has been talked about so much this offseason that it becomes mind-numbing. But the Braves have, of course, expressed interest in Marcell Ozuna. They have. It is without a doubt that they have, as well as about 9 other teams. The asking price is going to be high, and it's going to be interesting to see what the Braves do. I think that the Braves are not going to have the highest offer because I don't think that is the overall best thing about coming to the Braves. You're not going to have the highest offer, but you're going to have the idea of actually winning a World Series, and this is a team that can do it. You're around young players that can back you up. Marcell Ozuna actually did that for Freddie Freeman this year. Marcell Ozuna was a guy who hit behind Freddie and protected him, but Marcell also had protection in Travis d'Arnaud, and of course many others throughout the lineup. But I think Ozuna is a guy who's not very money hungry. Of course, he turned down a deal with Cincinnati, who was going to pay him more for longer, and he chose to come to the Braves to prove himself, and it worked out in his favor. But it will be interesting to see how that develops. It'll be interesting to see if Freddie is re-signed. Hopefully that is the case. Ken Rosenthal came out with this article this week, and I sort of shook my head at it. It was a long shot for Freddie to go to the Angels because Albert Pujols' contract will be coming up about that time, and the Braves GM is actually going to the Angels. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think Freddie's going to be re-signed. I think it is a long shot for that idea to even occur, and I think it's a long shot for him to go to another team. I'm going to take these off because I see the reflection. But I think it's a long shot for Freddie to go to another team. I think it's a long shot for Freddie really to go anywhere other than Atlanta. But that's just my opinion. Every stone's got to be looked under, but I think Freddie is going to be a Brave, especially after an MVP season. I mean, why not re-sign that guy? He's absolutely earned it, and that's just my opinion. Freddie and Harper are best friends. Are they? I thought Harper and Chris Bryant were best friends. MV free and MV free. Yeah, a lot of you guys are right there with me on the MV free train. I am right there with you. I completely agree, and I'm really happy that this happened. I think that it would be an insult to the game in a way if Freddie didn't win. At least an insult to the MVP award. So I'm very happy this happened. I know you guys are too. I'm going to get out of here. I know you guys want to go watch some college football today, and I will be doing that as well. But a lot of these games are suspended, so I got to go get my fantasy teams ready. I got this mic that is swiveling. But I am going to get out of here. Again, go check out the Chief Nakahoma interview. I'd really appreciate it if you go watch it. Go enjoy college football. Be happy that Freddie Freeman won the MVP award. And, of course, stay tuned for what the Braves are going to do. Things are changing. Things are going to, some roster moves are going to be made here soon. Probably sooner rather than later. Winter meetings is coming up. I will be at winter meetings. I will be there in Dallas at the Omni Hotel on December 7th and December 8th. I'll be covering it from there. Of course, all the big events that are happening. Hopefully, some big signings will happen while I'm there, and I can bring it to you actually from Dallas. So we'll see what happens. But again, this live stream was about Freddie Freeman, and that's what we're going to end this on. Freddie Freeman, National League MVP.